Many of you are from our business community or work in fields related to construction or real estate. These economic interests have a real stake in how our city evolves, and I think it's great, actually, to have that expertise at the table. But a municipal charter is not a blueprint or a business plan or a roadmap for how to create a government of the developers for the developers. It's a commitment and a set of tools for nurturing a government of, by, and for the people living in this city. So in your role as Charter Review Committee members, please set aside your professional objectives and consider, like James Madison and Thomas Jefferson and my ancestor, Ben Franklin, what is best for the citizenry. There's an oft-quoted adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A narrow majority of you recently voted to recommend reducing the threshold for modifying the comprehensive plan, thus removing an important control which voters enacted in 2008, not that long ago, to prevent unanticipated development from impacting the quality of life for tax-paying residents. I hope you will revisit whether it's in the people's best interest to suggest removing this check and balance. Likewise, as we approach the discussion of the strong mayor topic, I hope you will keep in mind the reasons that the citizens have rejected this idea each of the 6 times it has been broached in the last 2 decades. First, from the League of Cities presentation, we know that the council or commission manager structure is the most prevalent in the state of Florida and nationwide. Why? Because it puts responsibility for managing a municipality's essential services and the community's assets in the hands of trusted professionals, and it is also the least subject to corruption by political considerations. Second, we already have great leadership. In fact, in a recent newspaper editorial, the Vice Mayor praised our current city managers and charter officials and city staff as the best in the state. I, like most citizens who've been actively involved in civic affairs in this city, strongly concur with the Vice Mayor. Last but not least, we cannot ignore the abuses of power by elected officials which have dominated Herald Tribune headlines this year. LBJ biographer Robert Caro said, "It isn't that power corrupts, but rather that it reveals." What it reveals at our local level is that the constraints established in our charter of separating administrative functions and the hard work of running a city from legislative policy making are more necessary than ever. One way of doing that might be to adopt a Citizens' Bill of Rights, as suggested by a county charter review board member. I've sent you all samples of the Citizens' Bills of Rights used by North Miami Beach and the Miami City charters. Of particular interest to me were the commitments to be governed by the rule of law, the inclusion of citizen-led remedies for charter violations, and environmental and quality of life protections for residents. Adding these to our municipal charter would codify the city's implicit commitment to be run ethically and professionally and in the best interests of its citizens. Thank you.
Thank you.
In tonight's public comment, the person talked about a Citizens' Bill of Rights being included in this charter, like North Miami Beach and Miami-Dade and so forth. And I think it's worth a discussion by this group, if nothing more. And I'd like to put that on the agenda at some point to discuss a Citizens' Bill of Rights.